Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we break down company strategies and financials, so you get the insights without digging through all the docs yourself.
Exactly.
And today, well, we're cracking open the Decker's playbook,
Mm-hmm.
specifically focusing on the prepared remarks from CEO Stefano Caroti right after their Q2 fiscal year 2026 earnings call.
That's the plan.
Hmm.
We're really aiming to cut through the narrative he presented. What are the key takeaways, the forward-looking bits about Hoka and UGG?
Yeah. How are they managing things right now strategically?
Right. It's about the story they're telling, beyond just the numbers. How are they handling this kind of tricky consumer environment?
And they started off strong, didn't they? The Q2 results beat their own expectations, both revenue and earnings.
Yeah, definitely set a confident tone heading into the big holiday season.
So a solid quarter then.
Very solid, especially, considering everything else going on. For Q2 specifically, total company revenue was up 9%.
Mm-hmm.
And diluted EPS, that earnings per share figure, was up 14%. But I think we need to look a bit broader at the first half.
Right, the H1 performance, that shows the real momentum. So total company revenue up 12% for the first 6 months.
Yep.
And the big brands, Hoka revenue jumped 15%.
Mm-hmm.
And UGG was right there with it, up 12%.
Pretty much matched, yeah. And overall EPS for that first half, up 17%.
You look at other apparel companies, some are flat, maybe even down. So those numbers, they really stand out.
They really do. And what's driving it? Well, the CEO was clear.
Mm-hmm.
International was the powerhouse for both brands in H1.
How much of a powerhouse are we talking?
Get this, up 38% compared to last year in the first half alone.
Wow, 38%, that's huge. Does that mean new markets opening up or just grabbing share where they already are?
It feels like a mix of both, really.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely shows the concepts travel well outside the U.S.
Okay.
We also need to talk channel dynamics, though. Those big year-over-year gains, led by wholesale, so sales to their retail partners.
Ah, okay. Like specialty stores, department stores.
Exactly. Now, they did say some of that was due to shipping things a bit earlier this year.
Right.
But their own direct-to-consumer, their DTC business,
Yeah.
that also showed strong growth. So it wasn't just wholesale timing.
Okay, so let's talk strategy. Because the CEO didn't exactly paint a rosy picture of the economy. He said U.S. consumer sentiment is, quote, still under pressure.
Yeah, that's the environment they're in.
Yeah.
It's this dynamic U.S. market where, people might still spend on premium stuff, but they're way more selective.
Mm-hmm.
And he noted this preference for multi-brand shopping. People want to see different brands together in one place.
Like a running store or maybe a Nordstrom or something. Less likely to just walk into a Hoka store by itself necessarily.
Right, and Deckers seems to be leaning into that, not fighting it.
How so?
Well, they're focused on positioning Hoka and UGG for the long haul. And part of that is using these strong partnerships with premium wholesalers. It helps elevate the brands. And for Hoka specifically, he made this point, people really get Hoka when they try it on. Feel the cushioning, the tech.
Right. You can't get that from a picture online.
Exactly. So wholesale isn't just sales. It's like a giant try-on event. It expands reach and it's marketing.
So it feeds into their longer-term goal then?
Precisely. They've talked about this long-term balance, 50% DTC, 50% wholesale.
Ah, okay.
So wholesale finds new customers, people try the shoe, maybe love it, and then Deckers can bring them into their own DTC channels, which are higher margin. It's a pretty smart funnel.
Okay, let's dive into Hoka first. Global revenue up 15% in H1. What products were really moving?
It was really the core road running shoes. Updates to the big three, Clifton, Bondi, Arahi, those drove a lot of it.
Right.
But also strong growth in trail running, too. They mentioned expanding the Mafate franchise.
And this is where you see the market share gains, right? That's the real proof of disruption.
Absolutely. In the U.S. road running category, Hoka gained 2 points of share over the last 12 months, ending in September.
2 points in U.S. running, that's huge. That means they're taking space from the established players.
For sure. And it's not just the U.S. They specifically called out Europe, saying Hoka was one of the fastest growing road running brands in Italy, France, Germany in the first half.
Yeah,
the global scale is really kicking in.
And this connects to their product strategy, doesn't it? They're not just selling shoes. They're building these, icon families.
Exactly. Across different uses, peak performance, everyday performance, and then this sort of versatile, active lifestyle look.
Kind of like fashion meets function.
Totally. The Mafate family is the perfect example he used. You've got the Mafate X carbon plate, peak performance for the serious runner.
Okay.
The Mafate 5, updated for all-around trail running, more for the enthusiast.
Right.
And then they brought back the Mafate Speed 2, using that retro look for the lifestyle, fashion-conscious crowd.
So one core design hitting 3 different consumer types? Smart.
Maximizing the icon. And they back it up with real credibility.
With a UTMB sponsorship.
Exactly. The Ultra Trail du Mont Blanc. Hoka's the title sponsor.
Yeah.
It's like the Super Bowl of trail running.
And they weren't just sponsors, they performed well there too.
Oh yeah. Top brand and overall shoe share for the top 5 finishers. And Hoka athletes won Jim Walmsley, Francesco Pupi, Martina Menardic, first place finishes. That's huge validation.
Okay, so that builds the performance cred, but how do they make sure, the average person buying Hokas for walking connects with that elite stuff?
It's the narrative. The elite performance validates the tech, and that halo effect trickles down. We'll see it with the Mach franchise, too. They just launched the Mach X3, the peak performer. But then they've got the Mach 7 and a remastered Mach coming in spring 26. Those will likely be the bigger volume drivers, built on the credibility of the X3.
Got it. Seeding the high end, then broadening the appeal. Okay, let's shift back to that international piece for Hoka. That was the main engine, you said. EMA and China driving incremental revenue.
Yeah, EMA, Europe, Middle East, Africa, really strong results.
Yeah.
Gaining market share, partners reordering strongly, double-digit growth with key sporting goods retailers.
And DTC too.
Broad strength in DTC across Germany, France, Italy, the UK. And they're investing in physical presence. Opened their first German store in Berlin, did that pop up in Chamonix during UTMB. Very targeted.
And China. That's always a complex market. Premium, but sensitive.
Right. And Hoka seems to be navigating it well by sticking to that premium positioning. It's driving demand. They're opening stores in key cities. Loyalty membership is growing fast, especially with women and younger consumers.
That's interesting.
And the key metric, industry-leading full-price selling. In China, avoiding heavy discounts is crucial for brand health and margins. That's a really good sign.
So internationally strong, what about the U.S. given that consumer pressure? Any positive signals there for Hoka?
Yeah, he did point out some encouraging things. Wholesale sell-through, meaning what partners are actually selling to consumers, was up double digits in H1.
Okay, so product is moving off shelves.
Right. And their own DTC business improved sequentially from Q1 to Q2. So things are moving in the right direction. They definitely sound confident about grabbing, as they put it, billions of incremental global market share dollars.
Billions. Okay, so that's Hoka, tech, performance icons, global scale. Let's switch to UGG. Also grew 12% in H1, but it feels like a totally different challenge, right? More about culture, trends, fighting seasonality.
Completely different playbook, yeah.
Yeah.
UGG's performance was consistent, driven by these brand initiatives, like the 365 focus making UGG relevant all year, not just winter boots.
And is that working?
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Men's footwear grew at twice the rate of the overall UGG brand in H1. That shows they're expanding beyond the traditional base.
Wow, okay.
And just like Hoka, international regions were the lion's share of our growth for UGG too.
So they're pushing beyond the classic boot image. What kind of newer styles are actually clipping with consumers?
They highlighted a few wins. The Mel franchise, that's sneakers, Chukka boots, Chelsea boots, it more than doubled versus last year in H1.
Doubled. Okay.
Yeah. And the Classic Micro, which is like a lower cut version of the Classic boot, very versatile, debuted as a top 5 style everywhere, DTC and wholesale.
Huh. Interesting.
And then there's the Zora Ballet Flat. Sounds maybe a bit unexpected for UGG, but it's apparently way ahead of expectations just in its first month. They're definitely capturing current trends, but with that UGG comfort DNA.
But hang on, you mentioned earlier there was some pressure on UGG's DTC business. If the brand's doing well, why is that?
Ah, right. It's that channel dynamic again. Wholesale sell-in was the main driver for UGG in H1, partly because of those earlier shipments.
Okay, so they shipped more product to retailers earlier.
Exactly, which helps Deckers book the revenue sooner and strategically gets more UGG product out there for consumers to find in partner stores.
But the downside is?
The downside is it likely pulled some demand away from their own website and stores, especially combined with people shifting to multi-brand shopping anyway. So short-term pressure on their higher-margin DTC channel, it was a strategic trade-off.
Okay, sacrificing a bit of DTC traffic maybe to secure the wholesale revenue early, especially before winter hits hard. Makes sense.
Yep, risk management.
So let's talk culture. UGG needs to stay relevant. What were the big marketing moves they mentioned?
They hit a few different angles. Back in August, the iconic From the First Step campaign, big names Stefan Diggs, Sarah Jessica Parker, even the founder Brian Smith, celebrating the heritage,
right,
but also pushing into new areas, targeting men, for instance.
Yeah.
They were the official styling partner for a big New York Fashion Week party, HVN LVT's opening ceremony. aimed right at influential guys.
Trying to make UGG truly year-round and for everyone.
Exactly. And then there was a huge Paris Fashion Week activation, took over the atrium at Galeries Lafayette for a pop-up store, very high profile. And looking ahead, they mentioned a collaboration with a Japanese fashion label, Takahi. So keeping things fresh, aspirational, generating buzz.
Okay, so synthesizing all this, we have Hoka really leaning into technical performance, building these global icons, aiming for massive market share gains. And then UGG, also growing well, but more by playing the cultural relevance game, adapting to trends, expanding into new categories like men's and non-winter styles.
Two very different paths to growth, but both working right now. The CEO sounded really confident in his closing, called Hoka a prominent global brand just getting started, and said, UGG keeps inspiring people with its iconic products. The dual engines are definitely running.
And now they're heading into their biggest quarter, the holiday season, focused on profitable growth and long-term value.
Which leads us to that final thought, maybe something for you listening to chew on. Hoka's banking on performance icons and global reach. UGG's betting on fashion relevance and fighting seasonality.
Both strategies seem to be working now.
But given the pressure on U.S. consumers and Decker's own focus on balancing wholesale and DTC, which brand's core strategy, Hoka's performance permanence or UGG's trend-driven relevance, is going to be more critical, maybe more resilient this holiday season?
That's the real test, isn't it? Which engine carries more weight when things get tight? Something to watch as those winter sales numbers roll in.